So in continuing our AutoCAD videos, this video is going to cover how to organize your model space, the way I'd recommend you organize it, a couple more tools, and also how to make our sheets show the actual scale that we want, and how model space and paper space and viewports work. Okay, I'm going to try to limit this video to, again, 5 to 10 minutes. So I brought in a couple elevations. I showed that in the last video. I wanted to show you how, if you wanted to move something, how you can just grab something that you previously moved. Okay, I just picked it by drawing a box around it. All right, over here there's a button for move. The command is move. Okay, I usually just type the word down here, move. M is a shortcut for move. It tells that right there. Hit enter. Zoom way in. Like I do in SketchUp, I snap a corner to a corner. Okay. But the problem now is if I picked everything with a box, I would get half of this elevation too, and that's a mess. Okay, but what you can do is if you just hit enter, you get this box that tells you select objects, and if you hit P, you get the previous selection. Okay, and then you can go enter, and now it's already in the move tool. So now I can just go click and move. Okay, and you can notice it's snapping horizontal, it's snapping vertical. Okay, the snaps are down here at the bottom. This little icon, which looks like a perpendicular angle, a 90-degree angle, is highlighted. Okay, that is what you use to lock it. So here I can have free movement. If I lock down here, I can lock it and go horizontal, which is super handy in architecture. Okay, other snaps that you have down here, this one I use a lot. This is the snap to objects. Okay, so that's how you can get it to either, like, if I go enter, P, enter, enter, it snaps to the corners. See that? If I uncheck that box, then it doesn't snap to the corners. It just kind of moves around. So you almost always want it to snap. And you know it's active because it's turning dark. So a couple tools right there that are super handy that you use a lot. Okay, the best thing I can tell you in AutoCAD, if you're not sure what a tool is, just start typing it. Rotate, and you're going to find out it's right there. And then you can just click on rotate. Okay, if you want to go like scale, you start typing the word, and there's the SC command for scale. Zoom is Z, and so you start learning. There's a few that I know by heart, but not many. But if you just start typing in your field here, I don't know if delete is even a command. It is. There it is. I usually just select and then hit the delete button. But almost any command you think of, if you just type it, will appear. So let me see here. I showed you how to move. I want to show you how to work between model space and paper space. Okay, so down here is model space. Over here you've got arrows that let you see the sheets that are hidden. So I'm going to move over and find the elevation sheet because that's the one we want. Okay, so I'm going to hit elevations, and then it's going to go into paper space. The way paper space and model space work, your sheet of paper is right here in white. Okay, these boxes are like windows. They're called viewports. If you type view, you're going to see viewports pop up eventually. Viewports. Okay, a viewport, I'm just going to go single, and I'm going to draw a new viewport and just draw a random box. What it does is it's like a window back into model space. Okay, but right now it's not active, so when I zoom in and out, I'm zooming in the whole sheet. If I double click in there, now I'm zooming just that window in and out. So it's almost like your world is hidden behind the sheet, and then there's a hole through the sheet to see the world, which is back there in model space. To get out of an active viewport, you can either double click out here, or sometimes you can't double click out there because of where you're zoomed, and there's a little tiny icon there that lets you toggle between model space and paper space. So sometimes if you're like zoomed in like this, you have to use that little tiny toggle thing to toggle back and forth. Okay, I'm just going to delete this because I don't want that one. So let's see, let's go to the front elevation here. Right now these little teeny things are our elevations, so they're way too small. We want to make them 3/16 inch equals a foot. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to zoom now onto the front elevation, and I'm going to try to kind of center it in my little box here. 3/16 inch equals a foot, I believe, is 1/64 of a foot. I think there's 64 3/16 in 1 foot. And that's, I don't know that for sure because it's a weird scale. A normal scale like 1/4 inch equals a foot is pretty easy to calculate. You know, there's 12 inches in a foot, there's 4/4 in an inch, so 4 times 12 is 48. So 1/4 inch equals a foot scale is 1/48 of actual size. 3/16 of an inch equals a foot is 1/64 of actual size. I'm pretty sure, because I used to use this scale a lot doing houses. So to make this zoom correct now, you have to type in Z, enter. Then you type in, where it tells you there, it says enter a scale factor. Okay, and then you type XP after it. So I'm going to go 1/64 XP, enter, and it fixes the scale. You can see that's pretty big, but I'm going to double click out of my viewport. Don't double click in the viewport. Double click out and get out, and now you can zoom out of your page. I think I can get my house to fit on this sheet by just stretching the box at that scale. 1/4 inch is kind of a small scale to do houses, especially our tiny houses. So I'm going to go with 1/64. I'm going to take this text, which I've already put in here for you, and just move it. Kind of, let's move it. I'm going to put it over there, and I'm going to also go M, enter, P, enter, enter, move it down, and now I can stretch my box. And the key is to get your whole elevation to fit in the box. If it goes past the edge of your sheet, then all you have to do is move it. So I'm going to go M, enter. It's already selected, so enter, and I can move it. See that? And I'm going to move it like that, so that it's M, enter, P, enter, enter, and I'm going to move it like towards the edge of the sheet. Okay. If your house just doesn't fit at 1/64 scale or 3/16 scale, M, enter. What you can do is just reduce the scale. Okay, so let's say I'll do the same thing over here. This is going to be the rear elevation. So I'm going to double click this word and I'm going to say caps lock rear elevation. Okay, and I'll go enter. Oh, I don't want that. Command Z, and I'm just going to click out. Then I'm going to double click my box. I'm going to pan over. The pan tool is way up here. Okay, if you're using a mouse, you just hold down your scroll wheel and you can find the pan, and it pans. And I'm going to find the rear elevation, which is that one. Okay, so let's see what 1/48 looks like, which is 1/4 scale. I think it's even bigger. Z, enter. 1/48 XP, enter. You can see 1/48 is even bigger. So I'm going to make it Z, enter, 1/96 XP, which is 8th scale. So 8th scale might be, for my house, appropriate. These sheets are 11 by 17 sheets of paper. So depending on the size of your house, you're going to want to either change the scale to be 1/8. See, then I got to go in here and I'm going to say this is rear elevation, and the scale is not 3/16, but it's 1/4 inch equals a foot. And then with text, you really want to, typically you line it up on one side or the other of your elevation, and once you establish how you want to put it, like where you want to put it. Be consistent. Okay. So you don't want to do two different scales. I'm just showing you two different ones so you can see that one or the other works. You may notice here all my text is upside down. I have no idea why this glitch happens. Just know it's not a glitch. It's a feature of AutoCAD. Okay, it's a very not helpful feature. Let me show you something cool you can do with layers, and then I'm going to call this the end of the video. These viewports are obviously on the viewport layer. Okay, what's cool about the viewport layer is if I go down to the viewport layer, I can turn it off. I can freeze it right there. Let's see, or maybe I want to make it invisible. Is that the button I want? Let's try that. I can't remember how to do this now. Make it active again. Is that the one I want? Maybe I'll show you that in the next video when I remember how to do it. But what I'm trying to show you is that these boxes showing me where the viewport is will not print. Okay, so you really can move the text closer to your elevations if you'd like. Move, enter. Okay, and it looks better. This box will disappear, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video. Okay, that's how viewports work. That's how model space works, and that's how paper space and model space work together.